E. coli is identified at the Saskatoon Farm Food Facility, and more than 200 are now ill.
This is an E. coli that's not normally found in treated drinking water. And if we see it, it's often a sign of some sort of contamination.
A warning for guests who visited the Okotoks property in the first 2 weeks of July. The mother and son attacked in a road rage incident speak out.
So my first thought is like just getting them off my son. Like, I don't care if you hurt me or if you vandalize the vehicle.
Almost my entire rib cage on the left side is bruised, and my spleen is enlarged.
New video reveals every moment of the vicious attack as police continue to hunt the assailants. And doggone it, these groomers are good.
We have people here from Belgium, we have people here from France, Switzerland, Romania, Brazil, Australia.
The fur is flying as some of the best in the world compete in Calgary.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. We begin with breaking news tonight. A gastrointestinal outbreak has now been declared at Saskatoon Farm near Okotoks. Alberta Health Services says what started as a few dozen reports has grown to more than 200 people feeling ill after eating and drinking at the farm. Jordan Canigan has more on this for us tonight. And Jordan, of those, dozens of people have actually tested positive for E. coli and a rare parasite.
Tara, health officials have found 18 lab-confirmed cases of E. coli, and 3 samples have also tested positive for a parasite rarely found in Alberta or even Canada. It can cause severe illness, but those symptoms can take a while to present themselves. No one is believed to have the clinical illness caused by the parasite so far. But AHS says 235 people have become sick after eating and drinking at Saskatoon Farm last week. 2 people have been hospitalized. 1 has since been released. The farm's water system is the likely culprit of the outbreak. Saskatoon Farm has since switched to a different water source that has been tested and is safe. Because severe symptoms from the parasite can take a while, AHS now wants anyone who ate or drank at Saskatoon Farm since June 30th to be tested.
So we're in that timeline that we would expect for the symptoms right now to be E. coli. The Entamoeba histolytica requires a little bit longer from when someone may be exposed to when they might start having symptoms. And so that's in part why we're going back to July 1st, again, out of an abundance of caution.
AHS says it has no idea how many more people could be impacted by this, but it's casting a wide net. The Saskatoon Farm's restaurants and food facilities will be closed until testing shows the primary water system is safe. Tara?
Okay, Jordan, thank you. An 18-year-old Calgary man and his family are pleading for answers tonight after the teen was violently attacked during a road rage incident earlier this month in the northeast community of Marlborough Park. The suspects are still on the loose, and police hope someone comes forward. Mark Villani has this exclusive report and a warning: some of the images may be disturbing.
4th Avenue Northeast is normally a family-friendly street with a local daycare and an elementary school. But that peace was shattered around 9:30 p.m. on July 15th.
It was terrifying. Terrifying.
That's the voice of an 18-year-old who was brutally attacked in a road rage incident. CTV News is protecting his identity as well as his parents for safety reasons as police search for the 2 men responsible. Surveillance video shows the teen practicing parallel parking in an SUV with his mom, preparing for an upcoming road test. When a white pickup truck pulled too close, the teen admits he flipped the driver off. The truck left, but came back moments later, parking on the wrong side of the road. 2 men jumped out, banged on the SUV's windows, and pulled the teen from the vehicle.
I get 1 foot out, and that's where my memory goes blank pretty much from there. Almost my entire rib cage on the left side is bruised, and my spleen is enlarged.
He was struck several times, believed to be with a crowbar. His mother tried to break it up, but he was kicked on the ground before the men took off.
I never want to relive anything like that. There's going to be people looking. They're always going to be looking now, like me. I look every day at the camera, at all the vehicles that pass by. It would be nice if they would turn themselves in.
I ran down there and I seen blood was everywhere. It infuriates me.
The man's father says he's still shaken and wants accountability.
The one guy that was in the passenger seat had full intent on causing harm. You can see him right clear as day on the camera rummaging through the back seat of his truck to grab something.
Police describe both suspects as between 5'8" and 6 feet tall. One was wearing a navy tee and black pants, the other a white tee, black pants, and a black hat. Their vehicle is a white early 2000s Chevy Silverado with something extending from the truck bed. Investigators also want to speak with the occupants of a white Ford Fusion who may have witnessed or recorded the attack.
Probably one of the scariest things I'll probably witness or be in my entire life.
And Mark joins us from the scene of that assault tonight. Okay, Mark, what do police say about handling road rage?
Well, Tara, Calgary police say that if you're involved in a road rage situation, to avoid any physical or verbal confrontations here, don't make any obscene gestures and never wave any objects at another driver. Driving instructors tell us as well the best advice they have is to ignore this person altogether, look the other way, and if things do get threatening, make sure that you drive away to a more crowded area, even a police station, and call the police if it gets to that point. 911 is always an option. Now, as for this incident, the investigation is still ongoing. Anybody with information asked to call Calgary Police or Crime Stoppers. Tara.
Okay, Mark, thank you. Calgary police are also investigating after a pedestrian was hit by a C train. The injuries are not life-threatening. It happened just before 4 p.m. in the area of 36th Street and Rundlehorn Drive Northeast. C train service along the Blue Line has now been shut down in both directions. Buses have been brought in to shuttle riders between the Marlborough and Whitehorn stations. 2 suspects are facing charges in a stabbing Thursday night in the East Village. Just before 9 p.m., one man suffered life-threatening injuries near the drop-in center and was taken to hospital. He has now been upgraded to serious but stable condition. Minutes later, mounted unit officers located 2 suspects nearby, one of whom had been stabbed. While in hospital, it was determined those injuries were from an incident several days earlier. 36-year-old Neil Henderson and 34-year-old Donovan Collins have been charged with aggravated assault and robbery. An 83-year-old woman has died after she was hit by a vehicle. It happened around 2:15 Sunday afternoon at 31st Street and 17th Ave Southeast. Police say a pickup truck had a green light and was turning right onto 17th Avenue and hit the woman crossing 31st Street. Police say speed and alcohol are not factors, but they are asking anyone with information or dash cam footage to contact them. A design on shirts and hoodies sold by an online apparel company mocking Tim Hortons is being called out for its racist undertones. The company says it's meant to be satire, but some concerned citizens say this isn't humor. It is something more vile. Stephanie Thomas reports.
Thank you. You have a nice day. The cafes are iconic in Canada, and now the name Tim Hortons has been swapped out on the design of this T-shirt sold by an online company called Alberta Unchained. It says, "Sing Hortons," using a common South Asian name. The line below reads, "Now hiring Timmigrants."
Hate is hate, and it's in many different forms.
The apparel company refused an interview with CTV News and did not answer questions about who is behind the company, where they are based, or how many items with this design have been sold. Instead, it sent this statement saying, to clarify, the Sing Hortons design is a piece of satire. It is not racially motivated, nor is it intended to target any community. The executive director of Stop Hate AB says humor can be a cop-out to cover up anti-immigrant sentiment, and says the design should be called out for being hateful.
To collectively stand against hate is us actually doing an action towards ending it. Ignoring it gives it space.
Tim Hortons' hiring practices have come under fire for the company's reliance on temporary foreign workers for paying low wages and reducing opportunities in communities with high youth unemployment. Tim Hortons turned down an interview with us, instead sending a statement reading, "There are over 100,000 hardworking Tim Hortons team members across the country who are members of our local communities, and they do not deserve to be exposed to such blatant racism. We will be taking swift action to hold the people behind this accountable."
There's not much that can be done within a criminal matter.
Legal experts say the design doesn't amount to a hate crime, but taking on
disgusting, prejudicial kinds of ideas is through, the cleansing light of publicity.
Stephanie joins us now. Steph, the legal expert you spoke with is suggesting that the bar for what constitutes a hate crime may actually be too low.
Right, Tara. And he says that in the age of social media, that hateful and offensive thoughts can spread all too quickly, and that it extends to outside in real life. Now, Doug King also adds that Canadians are getting very tired of racial comments, of racial slurs, of anti-Semitism, of hate crimes, that maybe eventually the Supreme Court of Canada is going to have a second look at its definition of a hate crime. Tara.
Okay, Stephanie, thank you. An Edmonton woman was rushed to hospital after being struck by lightning in a West Edmonton neighborhood. Today, her roommate is praising the quick response of EMS. Amanda Anderson reports.
This is a glimpse of a severe storm that rolled through Edmonton Thursday afternoon. One of the lightning bolts struck in the Collingwood neighborhood.
I was on the bus a couple blocks back. We heard it, saw the flash. I mean, the crack was so loud. You thought it was right next to you.
I heard the thunder and everything. At first, I thought it was a gunshot, but I noticed it was way too loud to be a gunshot.
Laura Penner says her roommate had just left to walk to the store. Penner says after she heard the bang, she looked outside. That's when she saw her roommate lying on the ground right here.
So I saw the lightning. It hit her pretty much directly. It flashed all around her. And so I ended up getting my partner and then my other partner to run over and administer CPR while I called EMS.
By that time, Marty Hemrick had gotten off the bus, steps away from where the woman was laying on the ground.
My first thought, because of the world today, do you need Narcan? No, she doesn't do drugs. She got hit by lightning. I was about to step up and help with the CPR because I have some training.
He wasn't needed. There's an EMS station about a block away, and Penner says a crew was able to get to the woman about a minute after the call.
And so it was really amazing that they were able to get out here so quick.
They worked on her for 20 minutes before they loaded her up, so, you know, because what I saw there, you know, is pretty sad, you know, to be just out for a walk.
She was taken to hospital in critical condition. Penner says she's still unconscious and sedated. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Danielle joins us now. A lightning strike, as we know, so serious. I've heard you say it. David used to say it all the time. When thunder roars, get indoors.
Exactly. And to be honest, lightning could strike as far out and away from a storm as 16 kilometers. So even if you see a storm in the distance, you see the lightning happening, yeah, definitely get indoors. Take it seriously. We are in storm season at this point. There is a severe thunderstorm watch in place. Calgary is included. Now, while we're less likely to see that kind of active weather here in Calgary, we're certainly seeing some isolated showers. We have the potential for a thunderstorm, but mostly in most of the city, we're just looking at isolated showers for the evening hours. 16 is the temperature. It's chilly out here. It doesn't feel like late July, that's for sure. And tomorrow, just a high of 16 with on and off showers possible, but we're not looking at significant rain for tomorrow, but it will be a kind of cool, chilly, gloomy day. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. A fundraising concert by Alberta country music legend Paul Brandt is underway to raise awareness about human trafficking. This is a live shot of the TELUS Convention Centre of the 3rd annual A Not So Silent Summer Concert. The event brings together live music, fans and community leaders in support of Not in My City, a charity founded by Brandt. The star created the movement after seeing how sexual exploitation affects individuals, families and communities.
We had heard from a number of people in the province that they didn't believe that human trafficking was even happening here. A lot of times people think it's a conspiracy theory. It's something that they don't really expect would happen in a country as wonderful as Canada, but the reality is that it is happening. And in 8 years, we've seen an awakening where it's starting to go from a head knowledge for people, you know, they're learning about the statistics, to a real heart knowledge.
That concert goes until 10 p.m. You can learn more by going to notinmycity.ca. Still to come, they feared a rescue could take weeks. Instead, 3 trapped miners in northern BC were out in 48 hours. How crews managed such a speedy response. And Donald Trump cast doubt on a new trade deal. The deadline is looming, so what does Canada do now? We're back in about 1 minute. If you have a news tip, you can text us anytime. Dial 10-400. There is relief at a remote mine in northern British Columbia today. 3 workers who were trapped underground for more than 2 days are now safely on the surface following a complex rescue operation. CTV's Regan Hasegawa is following the developments.
After more than 60 hours trapped deep underground, these scenic views of the Red Chris mine are a sight for sore eyes.
3 workers from high-tech drilling who were safely brought to surface last night. They are being reunited with their families early this morning. We are deeply relieved that all 3 individuals are safe and in good health and spirits.
One worker described the ordeal as a wild week and said he was glad to be out of there. The diamond drillers from BC, Manitoba, and Ontario were rescued faster than experts had expected, thanks to their quick thinking and the help of new technology.
Safety protocols work. Incredible that Kevin, Darren and Jesse did exactly what they were trained to do, and because of that, they stayed safe.
The trio got trapped Tuesday after 2 rock falls in the access tunnel. They were able to get to a refuge chamber equipped with everything they needed to survive for weeks, but they did lose all communication.
We do the daily inspections. We do monthly inspections. We actually do second line of defense inspections with teams from external to observe and see. This one that caught us by surprise.
Experts say these kinds of rock falls are rare.
It's just nothing but uncertainty, radical uncertainty.
He says it appears everything was done to prevent the disaster, but the nature of the work is unpredictable.
They were probably drilling holes for explosives. What they were building was a ramp, or what was known as a decline into the underground.
He expects we'll soon be hearing about these kinds of situations more often.
See, BC is really open pit mining country, and it has been for a while. Very few underground mines. We're going to see more underground mines because of the demand for metals.
BC may lead the industry in safety, but experts warn automation is the next step to prevent future emergencies.
The open pit mine at Red Chris is resuming operations, but the underground project will remain closed until the investigation is complete. Reagan Hasegawa, CTV News, Vancouver.
First, it was July 21st. Then the date for a trade deal with the U.S. was moved to August 1st. Now Donald Trump says a final deal may not happen at all, making tariffs an unavoidable reality for the Canadian economy. As negotiations between Ottawa and Washington continue behind the scenes, the U.S. president seems intent on creating economic chaos and confusion. Here's Abigail Beeman.
U.S. President Donald Trump says most trade deals will be finished by August 1st. But as for us,
we haven't really had a lot of luck with Canada. I think Canada could be one where they'll just pay tariffs, not really a negotiation.
Hot on the heels of senior Canadians declaring progress and encouragement after D.C. meetings.
I had a productive, cordial discussion meeting with Secretary Lutnick.
We don't have a deal with Canada. We haven't been focused on it.
It looks like we're trying to negotiate with the guy at the reception desk. Commerce Secretary Lutnick's not going to make decisions.
Ottawa has certainly been focused on Washington.
I hope the Prime Minister and the government will start doing is being a little bit more forceful in putting out exactly what we're going to do in terms of preparing workers who are going to be affected.
The hit is starting to be material and financial in nature.
The Canadian Chamber of Commerce says the months of uncertainty are toxic for business.
It's not going to go away on August 1st, even if we have a temporary deal, because we are facing a real review of CUSMA, which is the big one.
But for now, all eyes are focused on August 1st, with no one having a clear idea of what will happen before the day the president has threatened to impose 35% tariffs on all goods not covered by CUSMA. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Let's bring Danielle back in again as we look at our 5-day forecast and see what kind of weekend we're facing.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't feel like late July. Late July, you know, it's time to jump in a lake and deal with all the excessive heat. This is not the story for the weekend at all. In fact, we're not even looking at much sunshine. It will be a bit of a gloomy weekend with cool temperatures. We're not looking at excessive amounts of rain in the city, but some rainfall. Okay, temperatures. We've had our cool down already kick in Calgary. We're just at 16 right now. Our high today was just 19, which is quite a difference from the 27 yesterday. We held on to the heat longer in the far southeast corner here, but that cooler air will be filtering in for the weekend to this area as well. So overall, we'll all be cool for the weekend. It is a cold front that's swiping through, and that creates that lift that we need. So it's certainly sparking up some thunderstorms. At this point, they're all non-severe. There is this small small potential in areas where we've had a little more heat today, Brooks over through Medicine Hat, where we could see a more severe thunderstorm in the evening hours or even overnight around the midnight hour. That's why this watch is in place. This is a severe thunderstorm watch in the yellow. Again, it's a small chance of it reaching the severe criteria, but we certainly do have thunderstorm activity that is developing right now to the southeast of Calgary and tracking off to the east. Calgary, we've had mainly rainfall. We could see a non-severe thunderstorm in the evening hours, even at the midnight hour. So, you know, that might wake you up here. I want to zoom in just to show you what's happening here, because these cells, yes, not severe, but there is a line of non-severe cells at this point around Vulcan, and then tracking just to the north of Milo and dying out by the time it's hitting Bassano. These may intensify a little bit, so I just want to show you as I advance this to 7:30 p.m. You can see this model is showing some intensification of these cells as they track down Trans-Canada. That's why Brooks and through Medicine Hat, because there was more heat there, we may get storms intensify a little bit more in that community, in those communities for later this evening and through those overnight hours. Okay, for tomorrow, Calgary, mainly cloudy. By the noon hour is when we get our best chance of a couple raindrops. Again, we're not looking at significant rainfall throughout the day tomorrow, but mostly cloudy for tomorrow with a few showers. And then by tomorrow midnight, that's when we get into some thunderstorm activity along Trans-Canada and through Calgary. And Sunday's kind of similar. We're looking at some rainfall happening as well, but nothing significant, but a bit gloomy and on the cool side. This is your Action Furnace 5-day forecast. 16 for Saturday, 17 for Sunday. It doesn't look like we'll get back into the 20s until next week.
Thank you, Danielle. About a dozen seniors from Jasper are now living in Hinton as they wait for their lodge that burnt down to be rebuilt. They're just some of the Jasperites still settling into new living situations a year after fire tore through their town. As Jeremy Thompson reports, Hinton's housing market is feeling the pressure, but some new provincial housing should help lighten the load.
Like the rest of Alberta, Hinton's population is growing. Among the newcomers, Jasperites displaced by last summer's wildfire, like this group of seniors. Their old home, Pine Grove Manor, is gone.
They've integrated very well into the community and into the different communities of ours or elsewhere that they've moved into, but they miss home.
Town councillor and Evergreen's CAO Kristen Chambers says about a dozen Jasper seniors now call Hinton home. A handful of others found spaces in the Edson Lodge or with family elsewhere. An upgrade from the hotel rooms the low-income seniors had been placed in after the fire.
The last one actually just being housed the first week of June.
Rebuilding that lodge in Jasper will take a while. In the meantime, the displaced seniors are preparing to move into new modular homes coming to this land in Hinton. The provincial government has committed $18 million to build 21 homes. A press secretary tells CTV the land will be serviced soon, and we are working towards having the modular homes on site later this summer so residents can move into their new homes this fall.
It's interim for the Pine Grove residents because naturally they will be going back to their community as soon as places are available, but it will remain permanent housing managed by the Evergreens Foundation long-term for low to moderate income seniors.
New housing stock is hard to come by in Hinton as its population grows. Council is exploring infill options and identifying public land that could be used for homes. A steady stream of Jasperites have been settling in Hinton in the year since the fire, entering a housing market that was already stretched.
Definitely putting a lot of pressure on the market. Houses are going fast, and there's a lot of activity in the real estate market here.
Chambers expects her town will be feeling knock-on effects from the Jasper wildfire for years to come. In Hinton, Jeremy Thompson, CTV News.
In the 80s and 90s, it was one of the fastest ways to get your music out there. Put it on a cassette tape. Well, we'll meet the man who's ensuring that all the locally produced music from that area isn't lost. And has your child outgrown their bike? Trade up. The cycle swap is happening this weekend. We've got the details. If you are of a certain age, you will remember that cassette tapes were a very big deal in the 80s and 90s. People could record their own music off the radio. Bands could make lots of copies to get their own music out there. But not a lot of those tapes have survived the test of time. Fortunately, a Calgary man has made it his mission to preserve music from almost forgotten Southern Alberta bands. Here's Kevin Fleming.
It's been a passion project for Arif Ansari to make sure the music from lesser-known Southern Alberta bands doesn't get lost forever. In 2006, he started the Calgary Cassette Preservation Society and has transferred more than 2,600 cassettes to its website.
But it's also a way of giving back to the community and creating something which I think is really important for, the people that played in the bands, the family of the people that played in the bands, and people who are just like really curious or fans of those bands.
Ansari has been a part of Calgary's music scene for decades and has a few of the tracks he's played on digitized. He says it was a popular and affordable way for bands to get their music out to their fans.
Because of the nature of the format, it's one which degrades, it's one which is kind of disposable, and so the reason why preservation of those became important was because a lot of those tapes were just lost. People, especially friends who just, they had, through moves or because they played the tapes to death, they just didn't have that anymore. And so that's really kind of what this project is recovering.
The collection has grown over the years, much of it donated by lovers of locally produced music. Now he has close to 500 albums and 800 CDs to digitize. Ariel McQuaig got involved with the project because she loves to discover new tracks by obscure Southern Alberta artists.
It's important that we document stuff that is happening so we can keep encouraging people and be like, no, there is good stuff, even if we're not making it to the next level. There's amazing stuff happening, and there always has been. And no one's going to care to document it except for the people that care about Calgary.
The Society's website provides the music for free and includes information about the band members. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Kids outgrow their bikes pretty fast, but that doesn't mean those bikes are ready for the scrap heap. This weekend, a Calgary nonprofit is helping families trade up their old bikes for a new one, while also helping keep perfectly good bikes out of the landfill. Kevin Green explains.
Youth en Route is hosting its second Kids Bike Trade Up this weekend. The free event allows families to bring in their bikes the kids have outgrown and leave with a new one that fits.
Buying a bike for a kid every year is impossible, and there's really no need. And so this is helping families, get their kids into bikes that fit them and work for them.
Instead of ending up in the landfill, dozens of bikes are being refurbished by volunteer mechanics. They come in a little rusty or flat, but they leave safe, road ready, and built to last.
They might not be as pretty as a whole brand new bike, but they are in really good conditions, and then they're ready to go. They're ready to go have fun, for sure.
For mechanics like Aaron Stagg, it's about more than wrenching on tires and chains. He says giving kids access to bikes is an investment in the future of cycling itself.
I want to see lots of kids on bikes. I want to see kids not just riding their bikes to school, but racing bikes, having fun, competing against each other for the fun of sport. Bikes aren't just transport.
Youth en Route says even toddler bikes can last decades with proper care. They're giving away dozens of smaller bikes this weekend, no trade-in required. The organization hopes to get more kids active and riding.
Let's keep these bikes moving. We know the need for bikes in Calgary is really dire.
The Trade Up program is funded through a City of Calgary Circular Economy grant. A third event is planned for October at the Genesis Centre in the city's northeast. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
So if you're interested, the Trade Up event is Saturday between 10 and 2 at the Youth en Route Hub. That's at 1212 34th Avenue Southeast. Our CTV reporters are pretty fast on their feet, but are they fast enough to take on the world's fastest cow? They put it all on the line at last night's Stamps game. Alberta Museum in Edmonton is giving new life to an elephant who once lived at the Calgary Zoo in the 1960s. As CTV's Marianne Valdez-Carletti reports, it's also a way to show guests what goes on behind the scenes.
The Royal Alberta Museum is addressing the elephant in the room. Its conservation team is sprucing up a juvenile Asian elephant named Gyro.
It's been behind the scenes for most of its existence, and now we're just happy to have it out front of house, having fantastic conservation staff working on it.
When guests come into the museum, they'll see history conservator Gigi Koulis giving him a fresh look.
Yeah, this is totally unique and novel, so it's pretty amazing.
The Valley was showing some of the things that are done behind the scenes of the museum that people don't get to see every day.
Gyro came from Toronto to Alberta in the 60s. This is a photo of him celebrating 1 year at the Calgary Zoo. In 1967, he died after his female mate knocked him into a dry moat. He was 6 years old and wasn't fully grown.
On our history team, just did like a deep dive because there wasn't a lot of information about him, and she just pulled up all these old newspaper articles.
The ram acquired him in 1979. He's never been displayed to the public before. The museum says while elephants are not native to Alberta, Gyro's time in Calgary makes him a part of provincial history.
He is the only, as far as we know, the only taxidermied elephant in Western Canada and in our collection.
An important reason to keep him looking his best after signs of wear, like these cracks.
So I'm applying it sort of in a small area with cotton balls, but I'm holding with tweezers.
As part of the conservation process, some of this overpaint that is obscuring some of the natural characteristics, that's being slowly and carefully removed so that you can see more of the natural characteristics.
While layers of paint are removed to bring Gyro back to life, a regular museum visitor has already been inspired to paint her own version of the elephant.
A real elephant? My gosh, why not? You know? That's fantastic. And it's life-size, and I'm almost close enough to it.
The museum says Gyro will be on display for the next couple of months. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
Very cool. Okay, well, if you go to Stamps games, you know that world's fastest cow is a tradition at a lot of the games there.
Right.
It's a foot race. Yeah. Maybe it's a hoof race. I'm not sure. But two of our CTV reporters lined up for the sprint.
Oh, yeah. On go! 3, 2, 1, go! And they're off, ladies and gentlemen. Make some noise! Make some noise!
Okay, that's Jordan Canagan and Tim Brooke. They are giving it all they've got. They could not outrun the cow.
Yeah.
Valiant effort.
I love Jordan and Tim, but that wasn't that close either.
It wasn't actually that close. No. Maybe they'd had a lot of hot dogs already before they took the sprint.
Yeah, they already had the
They
snacks.
were weighed down. Yeah. I don't think they went home empty-handed. I think they got a Stamps
trying
jersey,
it though.
Yeah. Good for them.
Good
for them for doing it. Yeah. Well, this video I'm going to show you isn't new, but it's circulating again this week because of the passing of Ozzy Osbourne, and it is an amazing rendition of Crazy Train. I love this video. We showed this on Trending a few years ago, probably before your time, because I think it was David Spence that was still here. That's the second time I've invoked him in this newscast. He's going to be happy about that.
Oh, he loves it.
It's so good, though. They're so talented. Like, this is why you need a music program in school.
Yeah. Because most music programs don't sound
they're not
quite
as sophisticated as this.
Yeah,
those kids
that's
are terrific.
Outstanding.
Terrific.
Wow.
Well, how do you convince your owner you need a pool? This dog had a plan. This is Lala. She actually already has a pool. She has a built-in pool. Yeah. She has a kiddie pool, but her owner says she often prefers the water ball.
Yeah.
She just water bowl rather.
I mean,
she
good
throws
enough.
herself into it.
Good enough, right?
I mean, she's small.
You're
so
small.
She can fit in there.
I mean, in perspective.
Yes. It's the right size. She doesn't seem to mind.
No,
Lala knows what she likes.
Yeah.
We told you earlier that Donald Trump is hinting a trade deal with Canada may not be possible. That pessimism didn't seem to impact Canadian investors, though. We'll explain in our business report.
All right, your Skywatch weather cam. And yes, we have cloud cover. Yes, we have isolated showers in the city here and there. We're not looking at anything significant, but we are continuing with this cool down as we head through the weekend. And we're not looking at a whole lot of sunshine or warm temperatures for the weekend. 16 current temperature, our high 19. To put that in perspective, when we compare this to the rest of the country, our high today in Calgary at 19 was the same as what they had all the way up in Churchill today. today. So we're well below normal, and this isn't typical July weather, late July weather. Anyway, more heat in through Regina, Winnipeg, where they got into the 30s for today. Okay, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in place, and this extends from Bragg Creek, Champion, Brooks, Medicine Hat, where we could see, and it's still a very small chance, where we could see any sort of bigger development with these thunderstorms is closer to Brooks and Medicine Hat tonight, because we had more heat there, but even that's a smaller chance. Certainly thunderstorm activity though, but we're not looking at those 90K gusts at this point or that larger size hail. So one passing through Vulcan right now, and towards the Milo area, it's mainly just rainfall at this point. Looking at tomorrow, Golden will see some thunderstorm activity likely, and that's possible in Rocky Mountain House as well. And then for us in the south, we're looking at a few showers here and there, especially down the QE2 to Calgary. Lethbridge, Medicine Hat will see brighter weather and warmer weather. So 25 for Lethbridge, 27 for Medicine Hat. All right, your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed Righter, it's free, and this is a cool one. Tomorrow, 11 at 8 a.m. and then 16 degrees as our high, with a small chance of showers, especially by the noon hour. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. Hundreds of people have now fallen ill after eating at the Saskatoon farm near Okotoks. They tested positive for E. coli and a rare parasite. Now the restaurant at the site is shut down while authorities try to determine the cause. The search for a suspect is on after a terrifying assault on a teenager, and the road rage incident was all caught on camera. And raising awareness of human trafficking in Calgary, country star Paul Brandt and friends are in concert tonight, with proceeds going to help stop sexual exploitation. Get ready to pay another recreation-related user fee in Alberta. The province is exploring the idea of an annual pass for boats, jet skis, canoes, kayaks, and other watercraft. The aim is to keep invasive mussels from taking hold in Alberta. The province is currently free of zebra and quagga mussels, but says the risk is growing across North America. The government is inviting Albertans to take a survey from now until August 25th. You can log on to the provincial government's website and search Watercraft Pass. Canadian stocks closed at a record high today, even as Washington threatened to keep tariffs in place on our exports. Here's Andrew Bell.
Hello there. Toronto's composite stock index closed at a new record high today, with investors apparently undismayed by the latest tariff threat from U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump said he might just abandon trade talks with Ottawa altogether and leave import levies in place. We haven't really had a lot of luck with Canada, Trump said. I think Canada could be one where they'll just pay tariffs, not really a negotiation. The president has imposed steep new levies on imports of Canadian steel and aluminum. Stocks helping to lift the TSX today included Shopify and Royal Bank, but Tech Resources slid again amid disappointment over glitches at its giant copper mine in Chile. The Canadian dollar was under pressure. It changed hands at 72.96 US cents, down about a third of a cent. West Texas Intermediate oil changed hands at $65.16, down 87 cents. Our latest fix on Western Canadian Select oil has it at $53.69, up 50 cents. And the TSX closed at its new high of 27,494.35, up just over 122 points. Those are your business headlines. I'm Andrew Bell of BNN Bloomberg.
A new report suggests Albertans know a thing or two about saving money. The report by Desjardins finds Albertans saved about 9% of their disposable income in 2023. That's the most in Canada. They're forecasting that number to climb above 10% when 2024 numbers are released. One economist says Albertans have some of the youngest households in the country, which should help this trend continue for a while. Albertans also made the most money on average compared to provincial counterparts. Just ahead, the country's largest dog grooming convention. Experts are primping these pups to perfection, hoping to claim top honors. The fur is flying at Spruce Meadows this weekend, and you can watch as hundreds of competitors from around the world are gathering for Canada's largest dog grooming convention. Alicia Philberg has the story.
Music plays and lights flash as dog groomers carefully snip, brush, and spray all breeds of pups as the public watches the live competition.
I find it very therapeutic. It's just not something you'll see anywhere else.
Master Groom Canada offers 3 days of competitions for hundreds of dog groomers from around the world.
You definitely need to put your own flair to it. It's about profile, it's about symmetry, it's about breed standard.
Above everything, this is about care for the animals. So the dogs need to be very well taken care of and look perfect at the same time.
And the pressure is on.
Competition gets really intense. People are overwhelmed. Some people are crying. Some people are, super nervous. You want to come here to win. And sometimes it's one hair that is in between you and the first place.
It's a really interesting subculture that we have here with dog grooming competitions.
They're competing for nearly $30,000 in prizes, trips, and points to qualify for world events. Team Canada made ground on the global stage last year.
It's the first time in I don't even remember how many years that Canada placed, and we won second in the whole world.
This Calgary event is the biggest in Canada.
This is the closest competition in North America for me to attend, so I really appreciate having it here.
While many aim for the podium, some are just glad for a chance to hone their skills.
A little anxious, but just mostly excited. I set my expectations for my participation ribbon and just to have fun and learn and grow.
Though the competition can get hairy, it all ends in wagging tails and toothy grins. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
If you'd like to check it out, day passes are $15. The event continues tomorrow and Sunday. A young Quebec girl is showing that you don't have to be big to be a ninja. 9-year-old Justine Samar is the talk of the World Ninja League Championships. Last month, she steamrolled the competition in North Carolina, leaving with 11 medals and 2 trophies. Her family says she grew up watching Ninja Warriors on TV and quickly became obsessed. She started classes and quickly began to dominate. Her trainer says it's her focus and her strength that make her special.
She's very strong for this type of ninja warrior things, which she can focus only on what she have to do, and she impressed more than some of the teenagers we got here in the MST.
Next month, the family's headed to Barbados for another competition and hopes to someday get a chance to compete on the Ninja Warrior TV shows.
Barbados, that's not bad.
Pretty good. She looks strong and fast.
Yeah. All right, so how do I sum up this weekend? I wouldn't expect much sun, and I certainly wouldn't expect warm temperatures, but we also aren't expecting huge bouts of rain like what we've seen earlier this week and the past weekend. A couple millimeters maybe throughout the whole weekend is possible, so a few showers here and there, but a lot of cloud cover. Cooler temps, 16 is our high for Saturday, 17 for Sunday. We will bounce back next week. It won't be perfect weather next week, but at least it will be warmer. Okay, weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, Alberta's climate. And Angie Jack sent in this beautiful shot, Fish Creek Park. Thank you, Angie. This pretty much sums up what we're looking at for the weekend. It's still like you can be outdoors. You can go to the folk festival. You just have to be prepared for a little bit of rain and certainly some cooler weather.
Yeah, take an umbrella, take your raincoat with you. That still looks like a beautiful place to walk. Yeah. Angie obviously did a little stroll along there. It looks terrific.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, enjoy your weekend. Thank you for your company tonight.